Thank you, Zoe, for coming to Tales and Tunes Talks.
My pleasure.
So it's been just more than a year since you joined our Table52 Writers group. And we are very happy to have you in the group.
Thank you.
What role has Table52 has been playing in your writing journey so far?
Well, certainly right at the beginning. So last year it was a different role than it is now. It helped focus me. And when I first joined, you were all writing this book or compiling this book of short stories. So I thought, I better offer a short story then, and I did. But at the time last year, I felt that I needed to perfect it. To make it go in a book, because that's never occurred to me before. It's only been hobby. It's never been serious.
Oh, so it made you take it more seriously?
Yes, that's the role Table52 had back then. I took it too far. I did perfectionism on it, which wasn't good.
Okay.
So, but that was good in a way, because it made me disciplined and it made me learn so much. Table52 taught me about editing. It taught me about bringing things focused, and the feedback. Big deal. And all of the people in Table52 are really good feedbackers.
That's
with
really
different
nice to hear.
ways of feeding back. So that was great. So I did that, and the final story, it was okay, but I'd lost the heart by then. So what it showed me is that I need to keep the story alive. And then since then, it's just gone better and better, really, because I've known when to stop. Take all the feedback.
But it's I mean, taking the feedback is very critical as well.
Yes, I love
and it's not easy.
Feedback.
You know, some people could be quite defensive, or because and I understand that, because it's like your baby. It's just coming from heart and soul, so you want to protect it. But then there's a nice balance, and I think you're so good at taking in and defending where you have to, you feel like you have to. And I mean, this was my learning from the group as well, like where to own what you really want to do with your story, and not too much listen to every feedback, but also taking in the very, very critical, very necessary and very constructive feedback as well. This is the most delicate balance, but it makes it does a huge contribution to your writing.
Yeah, and for me, I think feedback, the most important thing I gain from feedback is clarity. Have I made myself clear? Do people understand what I'm trying to say? And then, as you say, to own the ideas. For me, it's about heart. I mean, where the heart is. So if I haven't made it clear where my heart is in terms of writing whatever it is I need to get across, then the feedback will tell me that I haven't done that. So I'll only defend something if... it's a good point. If it was a fundamental part of the story and somebody wanted to change a fundamental part in terms of heart, I would defend that. So I'd say, well, thank you for that, but no, I don't want to change that.
Yeah. No,
but that's still being open to the fact that somebody has kindly offered that.
Yeah.
But there are some things that are unchangeable. Looking back on it, at The Thin Place, the first story, where I felt, no, I don't know this story. I haven't got this in me. There was nothing I needed to be defensive about, and there's nothing I really owned, which is why I had to keep doing it over and over and over again.
I know, yeah.
So now when I bring a story here, I would be more in touch with it. It'd be more connected to me, I think.
So that was my second question, actually, about like any differences in your writing before and after. So how would you would describe the change? So you feel your stories are more connected?
Yeah, so now or at least I recognise when they're not.
Okay. I think that's a huge thing. That was a huge thing for me.
And also, it kind of brings me on to the reading that we did as well. So there's the story that I read out at the reading we did at the Old Ship.
Yeah.
It was a story I liked and I loved and all that, but it wasn't. I don't know. It was just a story that I read out. I liked the story.
I told this to Zoe before our talk now in the meeting, so I want to repeat it here. So I think everybody has their own styles, and one of my friends who joined our reading said about your story that how subtly and nicely she talks about our world right now, the situation we are having right now in the world, like the governor losing the cows, losing everything, making huge mistakes, and then not being responsible about it. Not every story need to be touching some deep places.
It's quite funny that, because I never saw any of that when I was writing it. It just got written. It just came through. It got written. I think it was as a result of an exercise I was doing and a few prompts that I'd been given.
Okay.
Bell and 2 other words. It was a 3-word prompt.
Okay.
So I didn't think anything about that. But what I do really love doing is bringing different points of view to life. And that's what I loved about that story, was having the freedom to do that, culminating with the bell.
I quite like that story. So I want to ask you about, you're a biomedical scientist, actually.
I was, yes.
And after decades as a biomedical scientist, I want to ask you, what drew you to fiction? And now you're daring to write your own novel, which is amazing. So how do you think your scientific background has shaped your storytelling style, or the kind of stories you're drawn to?
And that's a very good question. I did actually write a book 15 years ago, first draft, called Sarah and the Shaman. Mm-hmm. That did involve science, but only in terms of time travel and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Now, because I burnt out from the job, I don't want to touch science again, ever. Or health or anything, because it was in hospitals that I worked. So
I know that feeling. Yeah.
Okay,
I don't want to see anything related with pharma.
Ever again. So it probably won't feed into my current writing, although it did back then. And a long, long time ago. So I guess this is the trajectory of my career. A long, long time ago, I tried to write a book about, well, strangely enough, Ritalin. Which is used for ADHD, but this was back in the 80s. It was just coming up. But about the pharmaceutical company making money out of the drug.
Yeah.
So, but that was a long time ago. And this is what I'm interested in. It's the power of the mind, so the invisible becoming visible. So bringing the invisible into the visible world, which is sort of what science does. It makes things, the non-material, understandable. So, but that's not going to be in my next book.
Yeah. Let me ask you about Sarah and the Shaman, your early idea to write a young adult fiction. Mm-hmm. And that was a lesson for you in how not to write. So what exactly did you learn from that project?
Big lesson. Don't force it. And I tried the technique that works for lots of people about getting up, sitting yourself in front of a computer and writing.
Oh, yeah.
Regardless.
No, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. I've got two bolshy, an inner teenager. It hates that. I hate that. I'm all tense and knotted up. And if I'm forcing myself to do writing, it's not creative. It doesn't feel it's coming in. It feels like I'm forcing it. So what I learned there is that if there's any kind of forcing,
you notice, you stop.
I know that it won't be any good that comes. Nothing good will come through me. It won't be from the subconscious, or it'll just be from memory or learning or logic. So that's a big deal.
Have you developed some certain ways of routines to keep you in the flow? You know, for me, we were discussing about, it was an interesting exploration for me, right after swimming. So if I think about what I'm going to write before swimming and then start swimming, somehow you start thinking about it, and then by the time I finish swimming, and I shouldn't do any WhatsApp, any emails, anything, I straight away, if I sit straight away after swimming, all the processing I do, most probably while swimming, the idea that the bit that I'm supposed to be writing, just comes very naturally out of my mind and then onto my fingertips and then onto the laptop. And it was a big thing for me to realize, oh my goodness, this swimming is making me think, process things, maybe, I don't know. But then I start to mimic this, even though I'm not swimming. Will I be able to get the mind to do its thing, and then I can carry on writing? And it did. Somehow I found the formula. I wonder if you have some routines and working models around that.
Right, I don't have any.
In the flow.
Yeah, I don't have any routines, but I can recognise when I'm in the right space.
The environment.
The internal space.
Oh, internal space. Okay.
Yeah. So I think that's half the battle, is knowing when you're not in the right, your post-swimming space. That I can feel from within, but I don't have any routine.
Okay.
I just know when it's the right time to do it and when I'm in the right space. But that's not good, because nothing is getting done, which is where Table 52 will come in, because we meet every week.
Yeah.
I do need that external weekly meeting.
Okay.
If I didn't have that, I can guarantee nothing will. It's almost accountability.
Okay.
So every time I come to Table 52 here, I am inspired to carry on. And that will wane, that inspiration will wane over the week, and then I'll come again. So I'm hoping, because this is the first book that I intend to make a go at.
I want to ask you about that actually at that point. Viaggio Epico. Is this a title, or is it like the...
It's a working title.
It
working
might
title.
Not be that, okay, yeah, not the final one. But anyway, so what made you decide it was time now to commit to writing a novel? This time with Cara.
Yes.
The main character.
Cara is
her journey through Italy.
Yes. And this is constantly evolving. Cara will be constantly evolving. And the reason I decided to do it, because everybody in Table 52 is writing a book.
Yeah, it's very developed naturally.
And it's only now, today, that I've learned that, you were all doing short stories at one point, and this has just evolved naturally into you all doing...
So I remember we kept reading our short stories to each other, and then we started discussing whether it would be practical to read chapters from our novels if we tend to write a novel, which seemed impossible back then, especially to me. And then maybe we just hold this idea for a moment, because it would be hard to read chapters and then everybody has to remember where it was in the book and how it was connected. But interestingly, it is happening right now, and maybe it wasn't the right time back then, but now all the things that we were thinking that would be as obstacles to be reading bits from our novels is not happening. Interesting. So everybody is remembering which bits they are in the book, or what was the conflicts or the set of events. So it is working, and then it developed naturally. And I quite like the fact that it developed naturally, rather than, okay, we have written this much of stories, short stories, let's move on to the novel. But still, it carried on naturally, and it is happening, and we are able to do it. It's so nice and fulfilling to see that it is possible.
It's inspiring for me. And very recently we've had two people here Trevor, who's written his book and he's now published. So and holding that book in one's hands is a feeling, and looking at the head across the table and thinking, this book came out of that head. So that's the invisible here in my hands. And amazing. And we've also had the guest speaker, Anna, as well.
Yeah.
And just the same thing, her talking about her book and her writing process, and then to actually have that book tangibly in your hand. So that, I'm thinking, is hugely inspiring.
Okay, so that motivated you.
It's motivated me to think about it. And I would love to have... well, we won't go there yet. We'll go back to what the story could be about, what my novel could be about. The reason it's an Italian-based journey of some form.
But I'd love to hear about mostly the settings.
Yes.
The wonderful setting.
Well, yes. The working idea at the moment, which may well change, is that there'll be three parts to the book. The first part will be Cara and her suitcase Victoria.
Yeah.
Bursting out into autonomy. They, after restrictive life, Cara is now going on an epic journey through Italy. And the first places will be Rome and Milan and Florence, Siena, Yes, those places, which represent, they're symbolic of. So the second book will be coming down to the, oh God, that was tiring, and then it'll be down in Sicily, where it'll be more calm and taking stock, because it was a little bit of a manic phase. So that's Sicily, when she's taking stock a little bit, and Victoria's calmed down.
It's such a nice symbol. Bag is such a good symbol. Bags carry things. People
including
carry
all the
emotions.
previous baggage as well, to a certain extent.
Yeah,
So,
or you can, I don't know, make a clearance from time to time.
yeah,
you know,
yeah. So
the bag
Victoria is the one that will be evolving throughout. And then finally there'll be the Orient Express from Venice, or ending up in Venice or Bolzano, not sure. But that is where everything comes together. That structure might change, but the point is, and I think this is what is important, because I think Victoria, she's more than just a plot device. She's probably going to be symbolic. And the Italian side of it is because I've been learning Italian. I love the language, which is why I want to write about Italy. I want to go there at some point.
Okay.
I will write the first draft, then I will actually travel in Cara's footsteps and rewrite the second draft as I go along.
I love that. I mean, it's an exciting journey.
It's only the beginning, and anything could change.
So you said earlier that your inner teenager doesn't want to sit at the computer. I asked about this just a tiny bit, but let's carry on from there. How do you keep her motivated? And it's interesting that you talk about your writing self as a teenager.
Yes, it's the young self that is the creative one, and it's ageless. I mean, I use the word teenager, but it's really inner child or inner true self, say.
Yeah, okay, not a certain specific age group.
No, it's not.
Okay.
The only reason I mention my teenager is because she's usually the one that says no. I'm not doing that. I'm not sitting there. I'm not doing that. I'm not writing that. I'm not eating that. I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
So she's the bolshy one.
Okay, so how do you keep her motivated?
We come here, and she loves it here.
Okay.
I've got to do things that she loves doing. So I've got to actually make her understand why. That's the big deal, and that's what I'm finding tricky at the moment, because I don't know why we're doing Italian. So I need to, and also, so in this context, writing a book, I've got to say to her why we're doing this. All she needs, there's one requirement for my inner teenager, one requirement only: interest.
Okay.
If she's not interested, there's nothing I can do to make her write it.
Okay.
So I've got to keep coming up with good reasons,
ideas
why,
to keep her interested.
Yes.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. So it keeps me on my toes, which is great. That's why I like her. But I do keep needing to be very, very in tune with the present moment, and be constantly evolving, if you like, because she's really canny. She knows when it's bullshit. And when I'm rationalising does not work. It's got to be heartfelt, and it's got to be a good reason that she can identify.
Ray Bradbury says, like, all a writer has to do is just sit right in front of the computer and start feeling. I mean, to me it was a bit of like, because I'm not that person like, okay, let's start and be carried away with emotions. I don't like that. I really want to know where I'm going. I'm really, so it wasn't appealing to me. But the more I wrote and the more I delved into this world, I understood what he meant. And it's the hardest thing. It's not easy.
No, and I think I kind of agree with him, but I feel that he's a bit ahead of my process, because I won't be able to sit in front of a computer and just feel unless I have done work on making it interesting
enough
for my teenager to think, well, okay, then I'll feel. I have to go behind that.
Okay.
And then when I've got her curiosity and interest and passion going, it's easy.
Yeah.
And so then I don't need to say, oh, well, I'll just sit at my computer and feel.
So
because it's already
keeping
happened.
it alive, like trying to keep it alive.
Aliveness is the word. Aliveness, constantly evolving, not set in stone, no rigidity.
Yeah.
Yet there does have to be a structure, and that's something that I was listening to today in our group, where you can have an emotional structure as well as a plot structure or a scene structure.
Yeah.
I've not heard of that before, of the emotional
map.
map
or arc.
Yeah, that could be easier. That's why I did say it's probably easier to do. I don't mean it's easier to do as such, but I mean it's easier to get my teenager to engage with.
It's just something interesting. For your
if it feels if it feels enlivening, and aliveness is the most important thing. If there's no aliveness, nothing's going to happen, and the book will be dead as well.
Well, interestingly, it's a huge unlearning process, because everything we do to become successful, to achieve this and that, requires some kind of non-aliveness.
Yes.
And then unlearning that is a huge skill. But still be in target, or not target, but still on the move towards the things that you really want to have.
It needs to be structured to a certain extent. It needs to be both. But the structuring that we do as kids, the learning the cold facts and committing them to memory, that's why I really know when I'm going from memory. That's why I don't like going from memory. If I'm creatively writing or speaking or anything, I don't like going from memory, because that's coming from that rigid past. It hurts me to do that, because it shrinks my world back to that rigid learning state. And that's not creative at all.
Well, it wasn't among my questions, but I want to ask you about the AI. I mean, the facts, the non-importance of facts. Because all the schooling system is about learning facts. And now we are in a stage where it doesn't mean anything.
Yes, because, that's true, actually. So it might release us from that. Actually, that might be... I hadn't thought of it like that. That the kids could be released from that bondage of having to remember all the facts.
So how do you perceive these technologies?
Very positively. I'm not naive. I know there's a lot of risks. But I'm quite happy with all those people that are concerned with the risks. There seem to be more of those than there are the positive ones. Just an impression I'm getting. I am welcoming it with open arms, because I'm aware that people, as I say, people are aware of the risks and they can deal with them. I don't need to be scared about it. I'm finding it amazing. I chat with Copilot regularly.
Yeah, Copilot is your go-to
and that's just
AI.
It's just the Microsoft 365 thing. And my inner teenager loves
it's
Copilot.
Interesting enough for her as well.
Yes, because it's got access to every single thing we ever need to know. So we don't need to remember it.
I think it's
lovely.
just using it as an assistant and a companion.
A co-collaborator.
A co-collaborator. As long as this is where the risk comes from. As long as you are the main...
It can't do anything without me. And it will never lead it to...
People are like, I think this is the risky bit for me. People are like, if they are not aware of what they're doing and not seeing it as an assistant, but something... I don't know, this is the thing. So humanness is still very, very important.
And it's probably going to get really a lot more sticky, because what makes us human and AI at the moment is the fact that AI is not tangible. Hasn't got a body, but they are making bodies. So...
No, I told you, £7,000, was it? You are able to get one.
Well, in 20 years' time, it will be a really good one. It'll be
no, sooner.
Well, all right, whenever, but it'll be wonderful, in my view, because all the humans who are currently involved in deadening tasks for them, their heart is dead. So they're caring for people they don't want to care for, or, whatever. They're all trapped in mundane reality. It'll free them.
I want to see it in a positive sense.
But the thing is, I accept what you say there, the thing is, though, the people who won't treat AI in the manner that its makers probably want it to be treated, I don't know. I think the safeguards are in place there. Okay. I don't know. Or if they're not right now, then it will be caught up.
So looking ahead, I want to ask you, what would feel like a win for you with the so-called Viaggio Epico for now, which might change? But is it like finishing a whole novel, or is it sharing it with the ones you like, or publishing it properly with an agent, or something else completely?
Yeah, so an interesting question. What it won't be is dependent on an outside world, because the moment I make it dependent on an outside world, an outside expectation, the magic and the evolution, and it becomes rigid, and it's the aliveness is gone. So it's not dependent on anything out there. However, I have to say that at this point in time, holding Trevor's book
melted your heart.
The magic of that, the magic of materialization of an idea, a tiny little seed of an idea, as this is right now,
Yeah.
I think that would be wonderful.
Oh.
So perhaps I would say that would be a marker of success, even though I don't like that word, but it would be completion. I would prefer completion.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's not about whether that book sells or not. I wouldn't be interested after that. It's whether, here's a book, people I love have the book, they can read it if they want or not, it doesn't matter. I would like it to be, I don't want it to be miserable, but I do want it to be realistic.
I really want to interview you again once in 1 year time. Hopefully.
Oh, yeah, well, that's another motivation, isn't it? Do you hear that, inner teen?
Yeah, and then see how you look back on to the experience of your writing the novel.
Actually, this could be really useful.
Thank you so much, Zoe. That was such an enjoyable talk.
Thank you, Celine.
And I got my
lovely
points from that talk a lot. Hope you enjoyed it as well.
I did, and I think it's very motivating as well. So thank you for that.
Thank you.